we learn how to bend our environment to our lifestyle. That's the thing that set us apart from a lot of the folks in prison, right? We all have the same access to the same things, but we would go to the kitchen and get peppers and ground beef, and we would make stuffed peppers, and we would do all of the stuff that we could do because we wanted to feel like we wasn't in prison.
Ooh, that's deep.
And so we would actually use solitary confinement not as a punishment, but as a vacation.
What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all, let's go. What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D, Mr. Double Down on You with another episode of Black Fathers Now. Now, I'm telling y'all, this show right here is going to blow your mind because I got two brothers that are going to blow your mind. And these two brothers literally are behind taking radical ideas from radical thinkers. And these radical ideas and these radical thinkers are the brothers behind ConCreates. Yeah, ConCreates. So ConCreates is a creative agency that crowdsources ideas from incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men and women. And the brothers that I'm talking to right now are none other than Vincent Bragg and Joe Nickson. And what they've done, what they've created is literally nothing short of amazing. Again, ConCreates, they're taking ideas, radical ideas from radical thinkers. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that really spawned me to really reach out to these brothers, you know, I heard them not long ago on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and Vincent dropped a quote, and this thing literally just spoke to my soul. He said, creativity without opportunity creates criminality. The brother said, creativity without opportunity creates criminality. And if that's true, what I thought about was the opposite also has to be true. So if creativity is given opportunity, what do you then create? You know what you then create? You have ConCreates. So fellas in the Black Fathers Now family, let's welcome Vincent Bragg and Joe Nickson, the creators and the visionaries behind ConCreates. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, brother? That was a hell of an intro, man.
I'm talking about.
Man, I was excited.
Like that boy good. Whoever you was talking about, that boy's
good. No, man, dude, I'm going to tell you, it's just like you all deserve that level of an intro because what you all are doing, the vision that you're bringing together, and the fact that you took something from nothing and made it something amazing. That story needs to be told and the world needs to hear it, and black men need to hear that because at times, you know, we feel like, you know, the world's on our shoulders and, you know, we looking over our shoulder all the time and issues are happening. But then when we hear brothers like yourselves do this and then take it to this level, and then on top of that, you brothers are fathers, like, man, come on, we gonna jump in. So thank y'all for taking time to holler at me, man.
No question. I appreciate you having us. If I could correct you, I don't think we took nothing and made it something. Mm-hmm. I think we took something and made it something else. Woo! Right? Because I think, you know, when we think about prison or we think about people in prison or we think about prison culture, we have a preconceived notion of what that look like. And we forget that it is geniuses that go to prison. We think, oh, they're dumb. They got caught. You know, a lot of people didn't get caught. A lot of people felt guilty and turned themselves in. A lot of people got told on. You know what I'm saying? And you know, those
people got tired of living the life.
Some people got tired of living a life, and so we took something and made it something else. And you know, the essential kind of genesis of the story is we both went to prison. Myself for a drug case. Joe was, you know, bank robbery, and, you know, we ended up in the same prison. ended up in there with a founder of a underwear company, and Joe, being as creative and as genius as he is, he came up with some ideas that blew this company up. Mm-hmm. So I kind of thought about what he did, thought about the payment structure. I just kind of went into a whole kind of zone. I just, I didn't see anybody.
He had his Moses in the mountain moment. And we were really like, because he was absent. And to put some more ingredients in the story, he is actually our culinary expert. So when he's gone these 2 days, when he's having this epiphany, we are not eating well.
Wow. 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 That's deep, brother.
So they put out an APB on me. They like, yo, where's bruh at? Did he go to the hole? Like, where is he at? He got in trouble. Like, where is he at? They sending people for me. Like, yo, they need to see you down. I'm like, dang, I'm thinking I'm about to get beat up for something. So I go down to the yard. You get disciplined. I'm thinking I'm in trouble. So I head down to the yard, and me and Joe, we get to walking around, and he like, listen, all that's cool, but what you cooking? I'm like, I don't know. Y'all got some ingredients, whatever. We get to talk about the meal. We can start chopping up vegetables and preparing. And I was like, man, what would you call an agency if it was for us, by us? And he like, what the hell is an agency?
First of all, what is that?
Right. And so I kind of started to explain to him, like, yo, like you see a McDonald's commercial or, a commercial, it's not McDonald's that's doing that, right? It's an agency that's doing that. And, long story short, he like ConCreates. So I think we started out with like ConCreator, ConCreative, and we settled on ConCreates because ConCreates is actually an archaic word that means to create together. Then, CON in Spanish actually means with. So ConCreates essentially means like to create together or with. And the fact that we're ex-cons and convicts creating, it's like a triple entendre. It made all the sense, right? So, so I get out of prison, right? I get out of prison in 2016. And before I left, I had made a promise to the men, like, I'm going to build this playground, because for us, it was like being a kid again, where we could just use our imagination and come up with these ideas and unrestricted, right? And so I kept my word. I joined an entrepreneurship program, studied, learned the fundamentals of, actually running a business, like technical training to run a business. And along that journey, I just met a lot of people, built and cultivated relationships, and partnered with, like a 72 and Sunny, which is one of the, I won't say the largest, but definitely one of the dopest agencies out there. And so, slowly but surely, like, we've been building this thing, and we launched in the media, and, worked with Rock Nation, and working with, some of the biggest companies on the planet, and so that dream is being realized to the point where it's almost becoming bigger than we imagine. Like, the impact is bigger than we imagine, because you got, brothers like Joe who successfully robbed 27 banks. When companies are like, yo, we want him, it's like, you gotta pay his rate. You know what I'm saying? And his rate is $8,000 a day. For a 10-hour day, you got to pay that man $8,000, because that means I got to take him away from a whole other project to be dedicated to yours. And if you want his talent and his skill, it's going to cost you. And these companies are willing to pay it. You know what I mean? And so, we got cats sitting behind bars making $125 an hour.
Junior marketers. Junior marketers.
Yeah.
And we're junior marketers, and it is true. Because one thing that we stand firm on, some of the people listening, some of your favorite brands, unbeknownst to yourself, they're involved in prison labor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I won't put them out on blast right now, but some of your favorite products, some of your favorite grocery stores actually have the men and women picking those vegetables for pennies.
Wow. And then you all turn around and pay $125 an hour to some of these brothers doing these jobs.
Not only do they deserve it, but they more than deserve it. But these people are going to be your neighbors.
Yes.
These returning citizens are going to be people that you interact with. Why not have them a head start? We have the preconceived notion is, what are they going to do when they get out? Well, we're the prime example of, we're going to get you ready while you're in there. So what Vincent missed in the part of the story is, while he's doing this and building all of these relationships, I still have like 3 years left.
Wow.
And on that journey, I have the briefs. I'm a part of every meeting. I'm a part of everything. I am doing interviews. I'm talking to people from in here, in prison, rather. And once I came home, it's just in stride. Wow. It's in stride. So just imagine not having this preparation and coming home from 17 years and 6 months in federal prison. And the next day, you're just like this.
So you basically hit the ground running, but you hit the ground running because you had Vincent laying the groundwork.
Exactly. And we want to create that for everyone.
And I want to go, but even as we go into that, I want to kind of take it a step back. What, from a loyalty perspective or from a word perspective, what gave you that thing? Like, what about your story allowed you to have that level of loyalty and commitment when you came out? Because to be transparent, you got family members who don't have that level of loyalty when they step out of something, but you were just like, hey, I'm committed to my word. I'm going to do this thing. So when y'all come out, I got a place for you. What was the thing that led to that?
Well, let me tell you this. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say prison, because
that part.
Yeah.
When you think about it, like, your word is everything. Your word is everything in prison. You can't be the person who says something and doesn't do something, right? Like me telling him, hey, I'm gonna be on the yard on a 9 o'clock move. If I'm not there, it might mean the difference between his life or not. When you spend that type of time with somebody, intimate time, like we're in a cell, you know what I'm saying? We're in a cell, uninterrupted. I gotta see him. That's actually one of the things, I know it's crazy to say, like, that there's things that I miss about prison, but one of the things that I miss about prison is, that we're willing to fall on a sword for each other because we have that type of bond. I might have only did, 14 months in the prison with him, but that 14 months outlast 14 years, 15 years of a relationship with somebody I grew up with.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Uninterrupted, because it's uninterrupted. You can always tell your cousin, I'll see you later. I can't tell you I'm going to see you later. I am going to see you later for sure.
Ain't got no choice. Like, I'm going to see you. Whether I want to or not, I'm going to see you, right?
Right.
And it's interesting, man. Like, there's a poem that I reference on a lot of different interviews. There's a poem by Langston Hughes entitled "Live Your Creed," right? And the first stanza to "Live Your Creed" starts with, "I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day." Then the last stanza to that says, "For I may misunderstand you in the fine advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live." The whole concept is living your creed, is making your word match your actions. And to me, that was what, when you think about the crux of what you all created, it started with loyalty and it started with your word. Your word is your bond. Used to hear people in New York, your word is bond, kid, word is bond, kid. I'm from down south. I didn't know what they was talking about until somebody slowed it down and said, your word is your bond. And I was just like, yo. And to me, when you start thinking about partnerships and you think about business and you think about relationships, it's built on a solid foundation. And you mentioned a triple entendre. I want to add a quadruple entendre to ConCreates, because when you say it real fast, it sounds like concrete.
Yeah.
Which is solid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
solid.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you're doing the creative, radical thinking, radical ideas, but then you're also creating this solid foundation, and that solid foundation is built on trust and loyalty, which is a powerful thing. And again, you're changing the perceptions. And I love the fact that you checked me on this, because you said you took something and made something else, or you took something and improved it. I think it was a slogan from, what was it, BASF back in the day. It's like, we don't make it, we make it better. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing. And so you took something and you made something else, or you made something better out of it, because something was already there. And I think we, as individuals or folks who maybe have never been incarcerated, have a perception that something is lacking. But the reality is, it's maybe misdirected, but ain't nothing lacking. It's there.
But think about this. Like, when you say, man, you took nothing and made it something, that is such a deep-seated perception of, in prison, we're nothing. We're nothing in prison, right? The people who have been to prison are nothing. So to say you took nothing and made it something suggests that we were the nothing, or our environment was the nothing. And that's not true. I was a consumer before I went to prison, right? I consumed these products while I was in prison, and I'm definitely consuming them when I come home. I was smart before I went to prison. I was smart while I was in there. I was kind before I went to prison, right? I was kind while I was there, and I'm still kind after, you know what I mean? So we have to remember, like, it was already something there, you know what I'm saying? We just, you know, like you said, redirected it. We took the skills that it took for us to build a $300 million drug empire, or to successfully rob 27 banks, and say, all right, that was the something. It might not have been what society views as something good, but that was the something, the skills that it took to, first off, like, I didn't have Google Docs. I didn't write, you know, oh, this person owes this much money, or I didn't put none of that stuff. I did that all in my head.
Wow. Brilliance.
Right. 27 times. Think about it. What it takes to get a group of people to meet a common goal collectively in a small amount of time. 27 times. Wow. I don't care what industry is. That's impressive.
Dude, you sell 27 pair of shoes. You doing the doggone. Dude, I'm gonna tell y'all again. This is why I was so excited to chop it up with y'all. I mean, brilliance on display. I mean, like you said, it takes skill, it takes gifts, it takes talent to do things. And the thing is, sometimes the talent might not necessarily be directed where we need to direct it. But if you have a pivot and you can see that I can take these same skills, because to me, concepts and principles transcend circumstances, right? So if you got the concepts and the principles in play, and you got the understanding in play, you can literally, it's kind of like when people say everything you touch is gold. You know, it's because you got this system in place that no matter what you throw in that system, whether it's something that's productive, whether it's something that's maybe not productive, whatever it is, it's going to work. So we just want to make sure that it's productive, what we put in there, because y'all are so genius in your thinking and your thought process that whatever you put into your funnel, it's going to kick out something.
Well, think about this, though. Think about this, right? I know. To me, when I think genius, it's like next level, you know, thinking. And maybe to someone who's, you know, maybe on the outside looking in, that this is, you know, sheer genius. But the only way that you can solve an old problem is to put new eyes on it, and that's essentially what's happening. It's just a new set of eyes on it, saying, oh no, this is how you fix it, right? When we say creativity without opportunity leads to criminality, this is just the opportunity, right? Because these same skill sets, when I came to him and said, yo, let's start an agency, he like, what is an agency, right? That was the intersection of what we're calling genius. Was like, he just didn't know. But as soon as it clicked, that's all he doing. Like, listen, I get out of prison, right? And I'm trying to build this thing. This is my man. Like, this is my man. We argue, fight, cuss each other out, go away for a couple of days, come back. I miss you, bro. Like, it's my man, right? He calling me every day. He only get 300 minutes, right? So
okay.
If I don't take his call, like, he'll call me, you know, in a half an hour, call me at least on the hour. So finally I get a moment to answer the phone, and I'm like, look, he like, hey, I only got 4 minutes. Like, listen. I'm like, no, you listen. I can't answer your calls. I'm in the meetings with all these people. I'm trying to build this thing. I can't answer your call as much as I would like to.
Okay.
But do me a favor. I want you to think about 10 brands that you want to work for, and don't call me until you flesh out all 10 of them campaigns. I'm thinking like, man, I got 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I could breathe a little. Well, do you know 24 hours later,
he's calling.
calls me like, all right, so look, we got, I just found out that, True Religion is going bankrupt. And he like, I'm like, oh, this next level. It's next level with the thinking that come along with having no distractions.
Yes.
Time slows down.
That's big.
That hyper focus. That's where these ideas become radical and next level, is because the environment is different. I didn't realize, because I personally am on the outside and I got all of these things, a father and meetings, and I was in school at the time doing the thing and trying to learn the fundamentals, that I'm actually upset with him because I haven't figured out how to recreate that environment that I had when I was in prison, to hyper focus and flesh out. This is what an agency looks like. This is how I go about building it, and creating that plan that I'm trying to stick to while I'm on the outside. So the gem in there is, when quarantine started for us, we put out something called the ConCreates Guide to Doing Time in Quarantine, because we quarantine experts. We just did quarantine. They just called it prison.
Wow.
So we went into that same mode. Right? We not moving around. Maybe we go to the grocery store. Once I discovered Instacart, I was in the crib like the first like 3 months of this thing. Like, wait till y'all see what we've been cooking, because
seriously.
Wow.
This is what we do.
Wow. Dude, man, I'm gonna tell you, when you said the whole concept of things slow down, and that's when ideas become radical. And you mentioned the concept of distraction, right? So as we all know, these things and the television and the this and the that and all of this stuff serves as a massive distraction for all of us, which then, and the thing is, when it comes to attention, no matter what, you only have 100% of your attention. Right. So if you got 50 different things and you evenly splitting your time amongst 50 things, everything's getting 2% of your attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, attention is not something that you got more than 100% of. And so, to your point, the blessing of having sole focus on what it is we're doing, I can put my heart, my soul, my everything into that. And to your point, everything slows down. And that's when ideas become radical. Like what you dropped there. I mean, I think to fellas that are listening, we're looking at quarantine, and a lot of people are so busy trying to get things back to what they were. And, I'm so frustrated sitting at the house, or I'm so bored, or I'm so this. There's another part to that I think a lot of people don't think about. And it's the fact that most folks are not comfortable with themselves.
Very much so.
And by not being comfortable with yourselves, when you have a lot going on, you have the ability to stay distracted. You have the ability to never have to look in the mirror, because I can always look to the left or look to the right, because I got a million things to do, a million places to go. So to you two brothers, man, when you mentioned that, the concept of things slowing down, and it was forced on you, being, incarcerated, but the whole concept of being sure of yourself, it seems like you two brothers were very much sure of who you were and sure of yourselves. Therefore, when you have these moments of solitude, it's not a time of frustration. It's actually, man, cool, I got time to create, build, and cook up something.
That part, because you know what's amazing? The segue in front of that, people always frown upon addictions. When you hear the word addiction, you say it's a bad thing, it's a bad thing. But what we've specialized in is becoming addicted to self-reflection. And that happens when you're in that setting. You have a time to actually relive every single day of your life. And the ugly truths, however much it hurt you, however much you was happy, you cannot escape that. And when you learn to love that, that self-reflection and to grow and to love that and look into yourself to make it better and not become content, oh my goodness, that's the game changer. And that came when I read that one book that Vincent and I always share, From Good to Great, by Jim Collins.
That's right. That's right.
And once we fell into that hedgehog concept, what are you passionate about? What drives your economic engine? And what do you think you can do better than anyone in the world? And I promise you guys, when you get there, the bag go chase you.
That's
right.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead, Bank Robert.
Dude, that's so powerful, and it's so interesting because, you know, as I introduced the podcast, I said I'm Mike Dorsey, Mr. Double Down on You, and Double Down on You is my personal development protocol, and it's an acronym, and it's embrace your greatness while pursuing your interest, recognizing your faults and failures, yet guarding yourself against your personal triggers. It's GIFT, it's unwrapping your gift. And the whole concept there is really finding where you have the opportunity to be great, what you're interested in, and where those things intersect. Like Vincent mentioned earlier, that whole notion of you were talking about genius. I thought back to the intersection of your greatness and your interest, because there you have no roof and you have no ceiling. But then, dude, when Joe dropped this whole concept of being comfortable with your failures, right? The faults and failures, when you recognize that, it always takes me back to that last scene from the movie 8 Mile. You know, when Eminem was basically, you know, he was battling or whatever with Homeboy. And literally what he did was he went up on stage and he told the audience everything that was wrong about him. He literally
Lead with flaws.
Say that again.
Lead with flaws.
Lead with flaws. And then what was the last line? He tossed the mic and said, now tell them something they don't know about me. He took the power back. He had control. And therefore, if you have control of your faults and your failures, you own your warts, you own your issues, you own all that crap. If you own it, nobody can use it against you, because you're like, oh yeah, dog, I addressed that already. So what you got next? Come on with it.
It's funny too, right? Because, you know, we work with some of the biggest brands on the planet. And this one, you know, particular brand was like, great, you guys are onboarded. We're going to, you know, start, you know, sending you guys, you know, briefs and stuff. But one thing that we kind of got to do, that we make everybody do, you know, in case you guys end up on our campus or whatnot, is, you know, your people have to pass a background check. And I'm like, that's kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yes.
Like, we're not going to pass a background check. Like, we literally go to our website, go to any podcast, anything that we've ever done. We've all been to prison. Like, like some of us are still in prison. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to pass a background check, right? So that is also the intersection of change, because then they have to think about it and was like, well, we're specifically hiring them because they have a different perspective, because they've been to prison. Maybe we shouldn't really be pushing this line so much. Maybe let these guys work. You know what I mean? And so it's those fine lines of like leading with your flaws that you can't really be tipped over, right? Because we put this. I read this book and I love this book so much. It's called The Process of I. I love the book so much, I tracked down the author and became friends with her. But she talks about how we identify with our titles. Right? Like, I'm a police officer, right? And with that title comes a certain level of like respect, or, you know, I'm the president, or I'm a father, or like, oh, I'm a black man. But that's not who we are, right? These are just titles. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I kind of got this notion of like, yo, we got to lead with our flaws. I watch CEOs. Oh, you know, this CEO, you know, took a picture of himself, a selfie, while he was naked in the bathroom. And then the world goes crazy as if we don't take selfies when we naked.
Wow.
Especially when you're single trying to get some. It
is. That's that swipe left, swipe right.
Come on. So we start to identify with these titles. And in this book, she tells the story of this teacher who apparently didn't make enough money as a teacher, would moonlight as a stripper. And so the superintendent and all his fellas, they all go out, and then they end up seeing this teacher and they end up firing her. Oh, we don't want this type of person, you know, teaching our kids. But it's like, how are we identifying with the title of stripper versus teacher? right? It's not like she doesn't have the skills to actually teach children, right? She's done that. It's like me learning from somebody who went to prison for securities fraud. You want me to go to an MBA program and learn the rules? I'd rather learn from somebody who also broke the rules because they knew the rules.
They know them better than the people who wrote them.
Because they was able to move outside of it. They found the loopholes and all. So I know the ins and outs of how to take a company public and all of this stuff because I learned from a guy who broke the rules after he learned them. And so once we call ourselves students of the game, I think the reason why we've gone so far in the advertising space is because we're not afraid to go to other agencies or go to other legendary creatives and say, how do we do this? Like, we don't know how to do this. Like go to other fathers and be like, yo, how do you do this? Like right now, my son is going through a stuttering phase.
Okay.
Where he can't like get his words out. Before he was just completely articulate. And I'm like, yo, like, did something happen? Did he get sick and it fried his brain? And everybody, I'm talking to other fathers. They're like, oh man, don't worry about that shit. He gonna grow out of it. You know what I mean? Like he thinking too fast.
That's it. It's not catching up with his voice. Yeah.
And I'm like, whew. But being able to have that, you know what I'm saying? You know, mentorship, right? Like is important. And I want to go back to the self-reflection part real quick.
Okay.
We learn how to bend our environment to our lifestyle. That's the thing that set us apart from a lot of the folks in prison, right? We all have the same access to the same things, but we would go to the kitchen and get peppers and ground beef, and we would make stuffed peppers, and we would do all of the stuff that we could do because we wanted to feel like we wasn't in prison.
Ooh, that's deep.
And so we would actually use solitary confinement not as a punishment, but as a vacation.
Right now.
Let me, I need a break. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a break. Let me see if I could get me a 7-day vacation or, you know, a 2-week vacation to just be in a cell by myself, no distractions. Let me read some books. You know what I'm saying? Let me center myself, because you start to take on other personalities and all of that when you just confined and around people. So we would
their energy as well.
No question. So we figured out how to manipulate our environment to our own. That's how deep self-reflection became for us. It's like, all right, it's time to go to the hole.
Well, hold on, but pause there. So were you all working together on this, or was this something that together, like individually, you all were doing? Because it's like, do you all connect and say like, yo, dude, I need to go to the hole for, you know, about a week, man, to get my mind right, to think about this? I mean, were you all bouncing those ideas off of each other, or was this something that you all were just kind of kindred spirits that were just doing the same thing and on the same journey?
I think it's that, right? I think we were all at different levels in our journey, right? And I mean, it was lightning in a bottle. I don't know if this could ever be, you know, recreated or duplicated. If we told you all of the elements that it took, you know, it's almost like scientists try to figure out the God particle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all can try, you know what I'm saying? But it's all sorts of other circumstances that take place. But I think we all were kind of on our own separate journey and had a like-minded kind of understanding about how we wanted to live in prison, and we came together and we was kind of already on it. You got to remember, Joe, when I met Joe, he was already like 11 or 12 years in.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he had already been to so many different prisons, and, you know, I had, you know, come from, you know, different spots too, but it's just when we came together, it was just like Voltron, I guess, you know?
That's synergy, dude. Like the sum is greater than the parts, man. And it was so interesting. You really talked about the concept of perception. Right? Because with our environment, you know, it's all about how you look at it. You can look at the glass as half empty or half full, right? And what do you choose to see? And for you all, you said something there that was powerful. You were saying how that you felt wanted to recreate or make yourself feel that you were not in prison. So you took all these different steps and you treated the whole like a vacation, and you went into the kitchen and you were creating stuff that you would order at a restaurant, and you were doing all of these things to create this environment. Right. And it was interesting. There's this concept called epigenetics. Right. And epigenetics is where it's the study of how environmental factors impact your gene expression. So how your DNA and your genes express themselves are at times a function of your environment or your environmental factors. And so it's interesting, as you all started down this path of recreating this environment, even though you were incarcerated, you were in essence telling your genes, you were telling your DNA to act in a certain way, which was preparation for what was to come.
Very much so.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
perfection.
Fuck your stuff, man.
And it's crazy because you did that because unbeknownst to myself, the way that I got away with doing 17 years and 5 months is I tricked myself into that I was going home tomorrow every day. And to keep that energy, because I'm a high energy person. Everybody knows me, I'm just high energy. I am the people person. It's like, if you don't like me, everybody's like, well, it has to be you. it's not him. And just to be in that high energy, like, okay, I'm going home tomorrow. And everybody be like, bro, you have a 20-year sentence. You've been gone 14. Like, how are you like this every day? And like, I can't share it with you, but for me, this is what works.
You know, what's powerful too, though, it's like when you think about affirmations, it's like when you think about affirmations, it's not talking about what I will be. It's literally talking in the present of what will happen in the future. And again, thinking of epigenetics and creating that environment and how your DNA then starts to react as if that is the reality. And then you start having outcomes that are matching what that is you're saying. So to your point, I'm going home tomorrow. Every day in the present, even though it might be 8 years away, 6 years away, your DNA started to react as if, and it gave you the level of energy versus you coming back saying, man, I got another 10. Dog, I got to deal with this food for the next month. I got to deal with this that would have impacted this. Dude,
let me give you a mathematical equation. It's very simple. This is how I would break it down.
Okay.
For everybody that's listening, your belief system is what dictates your thoughts.
Yes.
Your thoughts dictate your actions equal your outcome. Mm-hmm. Period. If you believe, you think about. What you think about, you do. And what you do produces the results. That's it. We thought about an agency and how we would build one every day since we came up with the concept.
We thought about brands. We thought about our sons. We didn't even. It wasn't even up for debate that we were having daughters. Right? We named our sons in prison before they even were conceived.
Go ahead and give me that because I heard a little bit of it when y'all were interviewing with Mike Tyson. But give us that story there, man, because I met my man's middle name Maximus a minute ago. But y'all give me the story behind that.
Sure.
Go ahead, Vincent.
Well, go ahead, bro. I like stories too.
So basically, we were so like this. So this is the aftermath of the conception of ConCreates.
Okay.
So now we're excited. So now it's like, okay, we go do it. We're seeing it. It's here. You know what I'm saying? And then we're like, okay, well, when you have this success, we're going to be doing that. Well, we're going to have to pass this legacy to someone, aren't we? And this is when we're like, okay, well, without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to have children and we're going to have boys, but they're going to be doing it to the max because what we're creating here right now, and then we did our research on Maximus as well. So we was like, you know what? Miss was like, you know what? When we have children, I don't know if it's going to be the first or the last, but Maximus is going to be involved in the name. And we settled on the middle name. So, Vincent, when you had your child, what is his name?
Cyrus Maximus Bragg.
And my son is about to be 4 months next week. His name is Jackson Maximus Bragg. And that's another goes back to our, Nickson. Yeah, he better not be. If he Bragg, and now get in here. We got some explaining to do now. Nickson, man, his name. This is cute. No,
I love it. Look, and I'm gonna throw something in there again. You know, I'm not part of the crew, but my son's first name is Maxwell.
Oh,
wow, you are a part of it. We Black Fathers now. What you mean? We to the max with it. Now we have a reason to have a retreat now.
See, we got a Max. Retreat. Look, we can call it the Fathers of Max.
The Fathers of Max retreat. Hey, baby, I'm out of here. You know what it is. It's that time.
What's super dope? Like my son, he could talk, right? I don't talk to my son like Goo guy. I don't do that. But that was advice that I got from another father. Like, yo, talk to him like a man. Like, talk to him like you want him to understand. And so he has these like conversations with me that still blow my mind. Like at 3, you know, like at 3 years old, he has these conversations where he's like, "What are you doing, Daddy?" I'll be like, "Minding my own business." And he'll be like, "Your own business?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What business?" And then I get to explain to him ConCreates. I said, one day it's going to be your business, right? When you get a little bit older, I need you to be able to mind my business. And so he's like, "But with my cousins though, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you could run the business with your cousins." And he's like, "All right, then I'll do it."
Wow.
And so then you think about Jackson and you think about Prince, and you think about all of our, you know, inner circle of guys that went to prison who, for some reason, the Most High gave us boys first because we got boys first. I just knew with all of the dirt that I've done with women that
you gonna have girls.
I was like, I'm about to have girls. I thought I had a dream it was gonna be 2 twin girls out the gate.
Little beautiful girls too, that you just gonna have to be like, man, come on.
I already know. You know what I'm saying? I already know what I've done. And they say, you know, the father always has to, you know, the child has to bear the sins of his father, right? So, you know, we ended up having boys. The Most High blessed us with boys. And so it's interesting because we get to pass along not just like the kindness or the wisdom, but we also get to, I think the biggest thing that Black folks need in this world right now is generational wealth. That's what we need, right? A lot of folks, we feel like, oh, it's systemic racism because they just passing shit down. We need to be passing stuff down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so ConCreates has never really been about us. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy thing about it is like we created ConCreates and thought about naming our children so we could give this to them. Because when we say it all the time. I could give my son everything, and he could still go to prison. You know what I'm saying? And he could still go to prison. So creativity without opportunity is what leads to criminality.
So you're gonna make sure that the opportunity's there.
All of them. Whatever it is they want to do, all of them. Whatever it is.
And, you know, dude, I'm gonna tell you that to me really speaks to the soul of fatherhood and what it is we as Black men, as Black fathers should be doing. It's creating opportunities. It's making sure that no matter what that, you know, the proclivities of that kid is, whatever their interests are, whatever their gifts, their talents, their skills, whatever it is, you're in a position in which you're creating opportunities for them. Because when you create opportunities, again, you know, you mentioned that creativity without opportunity creates criminality. Then again, the opposite is true. Creativity plus opportunity creates.
Well, it's almost like saying criminality, right, with opportunity equals creativity. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're already a criminal and you provide an opportunity, we're gonna tap into that creativity, and then you're gonna get creative ways of solving problems, right? And so I like to think about a conversation that I had with my son, and it was about like around the same concept of like running the empire, right? Like we always think like, hey, our son we're going to give him the empire. But he might be like, man, I just want to design clothes.
That's right.
He might be like, I want to be in the military. Like, I want to be like, you know what I'm saying? Play with police cars and shit. He might want to be a cop. I don't know, right? Yeah. And so I started having this kind of conversation with my son, and he teaches me stuff all the time. Shit's amazing. And to realize that I'm learning from him, I also realize like I am not in control of his life, right? I am only a steward.
Yes.
Of growth.
Yes.
Right. And so we forget that, right? Because we were taught coming up like, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. Yeah. You're gonna be this. Like my grandfather's, you know, so crazy. Like I wanted to be a musician. He like, you gonna be a pharmacist. And then I turned out to be a street pharmacist.
He spoke it into existence.
Right. So you gotta be careful with what you know what I mean? Like, because I always thought, like, how am I make all this money as a pharmacist? You know what I'm saying? How am I make that money as a pharmacist? And, you know, pharmacist was kind of way. But the point that I'm making is, like, if there's, like, any part in words, you know what I'm saying? It's like we are literally stewards of our children's growth. We do not control our children's future.
We got it. I think we got a call. I think we got a. Oh, excuse me, y'all.
We do in 10 minutes.
Oh, y'all got to run?
Oh, I didn't know. Scar, sorry. Excuse me.
In 10 minutes.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'll wrap it up in a second then, fellas. But, I mean, speaking to that and because, you know, you all jumped into fatherhood and you really talked about, you know, the purpose of fatherhood. And, you know, I did an episode a while back that was titled, Your Kids Are a 20-Year Lease. Your kids are a 20-year lease. And so if you really think about it, to your point, our children are basically a 20-year long-term lease, give or take a couple of years based off of their development and everything. And to that point, that's what we have. And we're stewards of their growth. And we're here to identify where they have gifts, talent, skills, pour gasoline on those fires. But then it's incumbent upon us, like you all are doing with ConCreates and all your creativity and the empires that you're building, you're creating an opportunity for them to then, whatever they want to do, to ride off and make that thing happen. Because again, creativity plus opportunity, I'll just say ... There's no limit to that. And so that's what you guys are doing. Fellas, I know y'all got to run in a few minutes. Is there anything that you'd like to share about ConCreates? How can the folks get in touch with you? If there are brands listening, how can they reach out and, you know, inquire about services and having y'all do your thing? If y'all speak, products, whatever, y'all have the floor, man. Let us know what you got and how to get in touch with you.
Sure. I think the easiest way to reach out to us is through our website.
Okay.
ConCreates.com.
Okay.
Through that website, you know, there's different emails for whatever you're inquiring about, and you can reach out to us that way. Across all platforms on social media, it's at ConCreates, but that's ConCre 8 TES.
Okay.
So that's Instagram. That's, you know, whatever platform you're using. That's how you can find us. And we're approachable, so don't think about I don't know how to talk. Ask for who you want to talk to, and
that's it. We're the most regular people. Just remember that we are the stoplight of the intersection of passion and purpose. Woo! So we understand everyone's language. We are as comfortable in the aristocrat setting as we are on Slauson and Crenshaw, and that's what makes us different.
Stoplight at the intersection of purpose and passion.
Let's go.
Man, that's a mic. I would drop my mic if I didn't want to break it. But brothers, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, like first and foremost, thank y'all for sharing with us, man. You all dropped so much wisdom, so many gems, and thank you for what you're doing, because you all are doing your part to reshape the narrative, to help brothers, sisters, and the outside world look and understand that there's value everywhere. And you all are doing your part to show that. You're creating a legacy and all the max. Now, question, one more. If y'all have more than one son, are they going to have the middle name Maximus as well, or is it just going to be one?
Well, I think we're going to, because I think their names may be Toomey. TUMI, and we're going to do something with them in the near future. But that is a wallet, a brand of a wallet that Vincent and I bought. Okay. And we made, when I came home, we were going shopping. He was like, bro, we both got the same wallet. He was like, you know what? We're not going wallet shopping again until we put $1 million in each of them. So that's the get down. So we'll be getting wallets pretty soon, but their names may be to me.
Their names may be to I can dig that, man. I love it, man. Well, brothers, man, I really appreciate y'all. And definitely fellas and ladies listening too, because y'all tune into what we're talking about. Make sure to visit ConCreates.com, and on social media, reach out to ConCreates, and that's CONCRE, the number 8 TES on all social media platforms. And who you're listening to right now is Vincent Bragg and Joe Nickson. And you can find them brothers on social media. Their links are there under the ConCreates stuff. So get in touch with them, reach out. Actually, I think we connected on social media. I think I reached out to both of you brothers on social media. So we connected. So again, they're approachable. And like Joe said, they're the stoplight at the intersection of purpose and passion. Realize that, know that. Mic drop. Fellas, I appreciate y'all. Make sure to subscribe to Black Fathers Now on all social media platforms. Make sure to share this interview out. And you know what? Until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace. Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always, always, always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.